Alright guys, Ted Gribbett here, and Chino has joined Enigma6. I thought this is a change worth talking about because Enigma6 are definitely a competitive team going into Fort Worth. They've been doing solid in the Pro League, and now they've brought in Chino, a well-liked player in the community, former of course of G2, and he has played with Diabolic and Sender, the coach of this team, before, way back in Dream Team, way back in Black Ops 3. So yeah, definitely an interesting change. I think this could potentially be an upgrade. How far this will take them is an interesting one, so we'll go through it today. I'm sure a lot of you guys are happy to see Chino back in the league. So like if you enjoy it, subscribe if you're new. As always, I greatly appreciate it, and let's get right on in with it. So the team now is Kismet, General, Chino, Frosty and Diabolic. So the roles are going to be as follows. If you watched the final week of the Pro League where these guys were playing, that was week number 4 because they were in Division B, you'd have seen that Cade was often forced onto the ICR role in the last week. He actually did very well in that role, and we'll look at that in just a second here. But yeah, he was effectively forced onto that role, not the role he would usually play. He's usually like a Maddox, more of an aggressive player is Cade, but I think General wanted to run a more aggressive Maddox, and therefore was effectively saying, you know, Cade, you run this, and it seemed somewhat inevitable that that's the change they were trying to make, with Cade not having the best stats on the other roles he was performing with, and yeah, he did well with the ICR and the Maddox in hand towards the end of the week, but you know, they've swapped him out for Chino. So Kismet and Diabolic, kind of your aggressive sub-duo. Frosty can use the sub at times, but usually got the Maddox in hand. Now General will also try and be an aggressive Maddox, which he's had a lot of success with in previous games. And then we have Chino as the solid ICR player. But that's likely what I'm going to see. On the faster pace map, something like a frequency, Chino may well pull out a Maddox, but I think it's going to be Chino who's, well, he's listed on their website at least as the main assault rifle. And we'll have a look at their website in just a second because I wanted to give you a little bit of history around this Enigma6 team for those who aren't aware. So for those of you wondering why Enigma6 always has General on the team, it's because they are owned by General. So General, his mum Sondra and his dad Chris, they own this organisation. So General's always going to be there. It's going to be interesting next year when franchising rolls around, because unless his parents have, you know, somewhere between 5 and 15 million bucks in the bank, then it's very unlikely that these guys are going to get a franchising team. So I guess at that point General, well, can try his luck to get on a actual franchise spot league team. We'll have to see how it transpires, but yeah, those are just some initial thoughts. One cool thing about General, a little bit of trivia you might not know, his name used to be Jordan Holloway, and General was like his gamer tag or whatever, but he's changed his name officially to Jordan General, and I'm not sure whether his parents have done the same, but it kind of looks like his mum has. So it's a pretty crazy organisation. So I thought you guys would enjoy that little bit of trivia about Enigma6, and yeah, well, they clearly have a fair bit of money if they can keep these players on a payroll, and it's not exactly like their lowest salary in the league from what I've heard. So this is their performance so far in the Pro League with Cade on the team. So there's 3-4, 12-16 map count, just outside of the qualification for the playoffs right here. One thing also to mention this season is it's different to last season. You don't have to place top 4 in your pool or in your division to make it to playoffs. If you place anywhere in the division, there will be a bracket playoff between the bottom 8 teams over both divisions, of which 2 of those teams, 1 from each division I think, will make it into the playoffs. So even Accelerate Gaming, if they lose every single series from now on in the Pro League, they still have a chance to make it through if they win a couple series into the playoffs. So Enigma6 still have a chance, but of course they want to qualify in that top 400. Thieves United Heretics definitely leading it up right now, and Splice looking solid as well, even though a little bit shaky in the second week. So they were able to beat Accelerate and Denial both 3-1, and then they beat Envy 3-2. But apart from that, they didn't really have any other impressive results. Didn't blow anyone out the water as we saw them do at the Pro League qualifier, where they were very impressive. But looking back on their group at the Pro League qualifier, there wasn't really that many good teams in it, even though a lot of people were considering it the pool of death at the time. You know, Reciprocity proved not to be very good. Team Serene were up and down. You know, he had Project 18, FaZe Black, there was FaZe Clan in there as well, but you know, they proved not to be very good as well. So Enigma6 were very good at the Pro League qualifier. They went 6-1 to qualify all the way through. The only map they lost, the only series they lost was against Reciprocity, Game 5, Round 11, a 5-1 comeback on Gridlock, and yeah, apart from that, they were looking really solid. So I had pretty high hopes for them coming into the Pro League here. But 3-4, some people would say it's good enough for where you expect this team to be, but they think they can improve, and I think Cade is the right man to go. So to have a look at some statistics now, General and Cade have been really the only ones struggling. The Diabolics, the Kismets and the Frosties of the world have been doing generally very good. Frosty in particular has been a monster. The movements on these Halo kids is something else. Of course, a former Halo World Champion. As he continues to play CoD, you'd expect him to get better throughout the year. Still relatively new to the game, and the fact that he's putting up like a 1.1, 1.2 is crazy. He's a really good and really valuable player for Enigma6, I am sure of it. Diabolic has also been very solid as well, and of course, as we're going to talk about in a second, he has prior experience playing with Chino. And then, of course, we have Kismet, who is really, really solid at the Pro League qualifier. Very good towards the latter half of World War II as well. Hasn't been as good in the Pro League as of late, but definitely still a player you want to hold on to, a very talented player with the SMG in his hand. So it really was, I guess, in terms of statistics, between General and Cade, who was the worst performing player. And yeah, I think in terms of an SMG duo, Diabolic and Kismet are very solid. I don't think you split those up at all. Frosty, of course, as I say, you're not going to get rid of him. And General owns the team in part. So it was only Cade that was going to be the option to remove. And yeah, he didn't have the best Pro League. He had around a 0.87, and as I say, was forced onto the ICR in the last week, where he did perform somewhat better. These are his stats from the course of the Pro League. So the first week, it really was looking relatively slow. Had very poor stats over the course of those series. Definitely played, difficult teams as well. Then in the second week, he was very solid against Envy and Accelerate in particular. Not as good against 100 Thieves. And yeah, his only really fantastic series was against Envy, where he really took over. I think he did have the ICR in hand there as well. And definitely was better in the second week, but not spectacular by any means. And they decide to get rid of Cade. So his replacement is going to be Chino, Martin Cheen, and yeah, Chino has not been fantastic throughout this game so far. During World War II, he was considered one of the best players in the game. He even won the MVP at, I believe, NOLA. But at Vegas, he had a 0.78 overall on G2 Esports with the assault rifle in hand. Not the best performance from his at Vegas. He was slightly better at the Pro League qualifier. As you can see right here, he had a 0.96 overall. So definitely improving through the course of the season. And Chino's a guy that puts his head down. He grinds the game, especially if he's got an opportunity on a team, a big name team. He's not going to just sit there and relax. He's a talented player for sure. He's been good since, Black Ops 3 time, maybe even before that. So yeah, hopefully he finds his feet on this team and it can really work out nicely. 0.96, but definitely a lot of people will remember some of the mistakes he made at the Pro League qualifier. That round 11, you guys might remember, at G2 versus Red Reserve. It was game 5, round 11 on payload. Chino popped his Tempest and he died to Rated with a Maddox, and that one kill from Rated got the Annihilator, and then they ended up winning the game as a result, and then that got them through to have a chance to beat Team Swing to qualify for the league. So yeah, it was a crazy turn of events. Chino definitely better at the PLQ, but still made some mistakes, and yeah, Cade was around a similar level as well in Enigma6, a 0.94 overall KD. So let's talk through some of Chino's achievements right here when he first teamed with some of these guys. So Sender and Diabolic are the two that Chino has known and has teamed with in the past, and I'm sure that those guys were telling General, like, if we want to make a change, Chino's a very solid assault rifle. We've played with him in the past. He's happy to just sit there and, take orders, General, if you want to dish them out. And yeah, Chino's a very chill guy, going to be good vibes, definitely going to cause no conflict within the team, and that's arguably what you want when you have a guy like General on your squad. So Chino first played with Sender way back in Ghost at Season 3 playoffs. Then, just a couple of months later, he played firstly on Rise Nation with Pac-Man, and then he played at this Season 1 playoffs with Diabolic and Sender as well on the team back in Advanced Warfare, this is. Then the team that people might remember is back in Black Ops 3 under Dream Team. They played with Killer, where they managed to come second at Stage 2 playoffs, where they beat Luminosity 4-3, having Luminosity just beaten Optic Gaming 4-3 in the previous round. So that was a very good result from there. And they went in towards the end of the year and the start of Infinite Warfare with a similar squad as well, flipping out Killer for Ivy at one time, and then they kind of went their separate ways. Chino, of course, had much success in the World War II season without the guys of Diabolic and Sender. Of course, they won Dallas and they won New Orleans. Chino was the MVP of CWL New Orleans with the assault rifle in his hand, and now they're back together here under Enigma6. Cade as well has had a pretty long history with General, let's put it that way. Way back in Advanced Warfare, they managed to come third at UMG California. Cade and Emery's and Exib on the team alongside General. And then since then, they teamed up a lot. The Infinite Warfare team, you guys may well remember, with Cade, Emery's and Proto. They had that situation with Emery's where he retired so they could get royalty in the team, if you guys remember that one. So a long history with General and Cade. Maybe they'll get back together. That maybe sounds a little bit weird towards the future. But yeah, I guess here someone has decided it's better for them to part ways at the current time. So, this is their group at the Pro League. I talked about Evil Geniuses a couple of days ago. They're alongside them, 100 Thieves, and Red Reserve. How good is this team going to be? I think in terms of vibes, Chino's definitely going to be super chill. It's going to help these guys a lot in terms of that regard. If they were thinking about that, maybe that's what Diabolic and Sender were considering. Maybe, you know, CoD in general, there was a little bit of friction there. There's not going to be that with Chino. So, maybe that's what you need on a team like this. Chino's a very solid ICR. He hasn't been great throughout Black Ops 4 though. I don't think he's going to be a crazy amount of step up. In terms of statistics, he may be better than CoD, but CoD was playing a more aggressive role anyway, so maybe that counters out for having a worse KD to some degree. General in that Maddox role should be more effective, I think. That's where he's been better over time. So I think overall this change should be an upgrade, but it's not like they're upgrading significantly. Really, I think it depends on Kismet to get back to form. Chino in the ICR, it's effectively the least impactful role on the map. The ICR doesn't do that much. It's up to the rest of his team to really make the space for Chino and, well, to really get most of the work done. The ICR is definitely not considered the most important role. So Diabolic and Kismet, it's really on them to be a solid SMG duo. When they looked really scary at the Pro League qualifier, it was largely because of Kismet going off. Now, Frosty you can rely on to go off, but if Kismet can get back to the form he was showing at the Pro League qualifier, then we have a really scary team on our hands here, and especially if General can start putting up numbers like we're used to of him, you know, even back in Infinite Warfare time. So yeah, that's what I think about this. I don't think they'll make it top 2. There's definitely an opportunity. I think 100 Thieves are a solid team. Enigma6 definitely have a chance to upset Red Reserve, and I think they probably can handle Evil Geniuses in this pool and they're at their current form, but I don't quite see them getting top 2 as yet. An upset could potentially be on the cards. I think Enigma6 and Evil Geniuses both improve slightly this roster change period. I don't think it'll be anything drastic unless Kismet can really start crushing faces again. So I hope you guys enjoyed. Like if you did, subscribe if you're new as always, I'd really appreciate it. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.
Can I see it from Jasper?
Yeah, probably. You can just do the full flank like Psyche. Oh no, he's gonna hit the glass break. You can just go all the way around.
To the full.
Yeah, this is what I'm talking about. There's no way he's ninjaing down 4-0. Oh my god, fucking hell.
The fullest flank in the history of CoD. I'll go right here as well.
Oh, you're not even gonna be there anyway in time. Oh my god. The fullest flank of all time. No!
He has to do this bomb.
Oh my god, you gotta be kidding me. Still get your fist.
Oh, I didn't even hit it up here.
He's changed. Oh my god.
100 billion IQ play right there. Don't even know. Just,
where was he? Like
10 trillion and 0 and 1v1.
I love how
you're ever gonna lose it.
Your long flank checked AFK as well, just in case. You never know.
That guy
This is
would
a
be so pissed off. I hope he's like, where the fuck is that guy?
That's so sad.
Protect the objective.
Go mid. Oh, yeah, do what you did before though, that's good. I'm just gonna hold B from I'm just gonna sit in this corner. Take go B, fair enough.
Oh, proper requesting support. I'm pushing an A.
Yeah, I agree. I'm just holding mid. Just flank on B. I'm just holding our mid push. I reckon they're going B.
Yeah, I reckon also.
Unless they managed to push all the way through our spawn somehow.
Charge is set.
I'm pushing mid now. I'm just gonna wait 1 second, pushing up through this glass.
I think they've gone to Jasper.
One's close here.
Oh no, he's here.
Nice, good shit. Hey, bomb. Oh my god.
So, oh, that's PP.
It's GBP. Nice.
Shouted on.